welcome back. It's been a little while since we've done one of these. I've no idea what the title for this video is, but thank you very much for clicking it, no matter what it ends up being. I guess it's kind of a mix of a channel update and a me update. The two are fairly intrinsically linked for obvious reasons, but you know full well, looking back at the last few months, that there has been very little actual content on the channel. There's been very few videos compared to what I would hopefully produce in that time, and it's not for a lack of things to talk about. It is instead because 2025 has so far been a very odd year for me personally, because the start of the year I was greeted with a depressive episode that snuck up on me in a big way. I have had issues with clinical depression for a long time, and I've also had treatment for depression over the years, and so I'm generally pretty good at spotting when an episode is happening or starting. I have various mechanisms and things to do to cope with and or head off an episode, and ways to recover from one if somehow it still happens anyway. This one's been unusual in that I did not see it coming. I didn't realise that I was having a depressive episode until it had really messed up my mental and physical health, and it's taken a long time to get out of it because pretty much all of the coping mechanisms that I usually fall back on for dealing with this simply have not worked this time. I don't know why. I couldn't tell you. I have absolutely no idea, but I hadn't realised that I was having fairly severe problems until it had made me borderline non-functional, and that's not really an ideal place to start trying to tackle it. Obviously, I've got help. I do have my friends, I've got my family, I've had professional help for it as well. It's not like I sat around and did nothing, but unfortunately it really got its claws into me before I properly realised what was going on, and I did something else that I generally don't do. Something that depression is very well known for, and something that it does very well, is isolate you. You can come up with all sorts of fun reasons and excuses as to why you don't want to do anything, don't want to go anywhere, don't want to see anyone, and why you don't feel very good. But it's a lot easier to come up with those excuses or say nothing than it is to say that you are having issues. A big part of that is not wanting to be a burden on people and not wanting to feel as though someone is having to look after you or that you're making their life worse just by being around. It's a very common and well-known kind of symptom of depression, or at least result of a depressive episode. And normally I can ignore that and just go, I'm not doing so hot, I could do with some extra support. That didn't happen this time. I made no effort to try and seek any help initially. I think partially because initially I didn't know that there was anything really wrong, and then by the time I did, it had circumvented all the things I usually look for, and so I just didn't want anyone's help because I thought that would make things a lot worse for them. Now, obviously, that's not how that works, and that's not how friends, family, wife reacted to it when we realised what was going on, and so things have improved. I am a lot better than I was. Admittedly, we are most of the way through March, and it feels like it should still be January to me. I lost whole days to doing absolutely nothing. I think there was 1 week where I literally could not tell you what I did, because when it gets that bad, you have a loss of interest. There's no joy, there's no interest, there's no happiness, there's nothing. There's just a flat grey plane of existence where all I really did was, it was the things that I needed to do. So, need to take the kids to school, need to feed them, need to keep them clean, need to pick them up, need to feed them again. And the grey spaces in between those mandatory tasks were just nothing. I didn't want to do any painting or kit bashing. I didn't want to make any videos. I didn't want to do anything with my guitars. My voice is going. Don't worry, I'm not getting overly emotional. It's because I've been painting this, and I've been trying something new with the video for painting this, which should be out on the 26th, hopefully. It's going to be such a pain to edit. There's literally hours of footage to go through. But yeah, I was just in a position where I flat out didn't have any excitement or happiness to do anything. To be fair, I also, for a lot of the time, wasn't feeling anything else either, which I guess at least it's balanced. It's just not in a good way. Occasionally, there would be enough sort of self-awareness or enough pushback from, the little part of your brain that is clinging on to normality when you have one of these depressive episodes that made me quite angry. And those angry spots were actually quite helpful because it meant I got things done. But I was mostly getting things done out of spite, not because it was actually something that needed to be done, more just, I'm not having this anymore. I'm not dealing with it. I'm going to do something. Which, the occasional thing, maybe. It's no way to try and tackle that issue on a long-term basis, though. But luckily, I'm not doing that, so we're all good. But, yeah, I am doing a lot better, which is why I'm able to talk about it. I also know that there are plenty of people who I've been talking to over the last few months, or that I've been trying to organise things with, or they've been trying to organise things with me, that in a big way I've kind of let down because I've not been as responsive as I should be. I'm in charge of my own communications to people, for the most part. So if someone emails me, I'm the one who emails them back. When nothing feels real or like it matters or anything that you do matters, it's kind of difficult to drum up the enthusiasm to keep on top of ostensibly work emails. So I know that I've got a lot of catching up to do there, which is a little bit intimidating, but so far people have been fairly understanding and I'm hoping that continues. The thing is, whilst things have been kind of rough since the start of the year, like I say, it feels like it should be the second week of January, and we are 3 months in, which is honestly a little bit scary, but that has given me something of a, I don't know, I guess a kick up the arse, a kick in the soul, maybe, to just do things differently. Just do things differently. Towards the end of last year, I was starting to feel a bit burnt out and a bit like I was coasting, but I didn't really feel like I had the inspiration or the wherewithal or the creativity to do things differently, which isn't true. I've got a bajillion ideas for loads of things that I could do for this channel, loads of projects that I want to take on, loads of army ideas. I have an overflowing amount of ideas in a document on my desktop that is literally pages long that I've been putting together for ages. And not one of them has seen the light of day. I think because I got very used to working in a specific way, it's a case of I want to make a video, I shall record it, edit it, put it out all on the same day, that's that. That is efficient, but it's not creative, and it's not something whereby I get a huge amount of fulfillment out of it, and frankly I don't think it's the best I can do, and you are willing to give your time to me by watching the stuff I do, so you deserve better as well. It's not just a case of I should be doing more stuff because it would be good for me, it's also because I do genuinely feel like I have a responsibility to do the best I can if you are going to spend your time watching it. Time is finite. We don't get more than we get. So if you're going to spend your time here, I need to make sure it's worth your while. And I'll be honest, I don't know that I've been doing that. I don't think I have in a lot of cases. But this whole experience of what is one of the worst depressive episodes I've ever had, normally I come out of them and I want to go back to normal. I don't feel like that this time round. I feel like it may be symptomatic of a larger issue of not being satisfied with what I was doing, but not being prepared to own up to that or face up to it or even properly consciously address it or think about it. But I have been thinking about it. So the video for this monstrosity right here, which is beautiful and I love it, but oh dear God, trying to paint it in 3 days has been a nightmare. It's nothing like anything I've done before. That video is going to take way longer to edit than anything else I've ever done. It's also taken way longer to record than anything else I've ever done. It's also a totally different style to anything else I've ever done. And you know what? There's been points where I've got a bit sick of painting that ship. At no point did I get sick of recording the video, and at no point did I get stressed out about the fact that I was taking up multiple days to do it, and it wasn't out yet, which is something I've struggled with before in trying to do longer term projects. I have a bunch of ideas. I have a bunch of stuff I want to do hobby-wise. There is a hobby channel that has sat dormant for a couple of years now where I had a good idea for it and then immediately hated what I'd come up with. And I've put off putting things on there again because I've felt like it's been an indecision thing. I've thought I want it to be like this, no, I actually don't like that style now I've edited it. I want it to be like something else. And I think the main problem is that I've always wanted that kind of video to be like something, when really I should just make it like something that I want to watch. I think I've been hunting for a specific style or a specific sort of feel or vibe to a video, and that isn't really what I should have been doing at all. I should have just been making the thing that I enjoy making and putting it out there and seeing if other people like it too. And I've been putting off doing that. And I'm pretty sure that might be something of a reason as to why I've struggled so much this year so far. But, as I say, I'm doing a lot better. I'm clawing my way out. I'm actually enjoying things. I'm actually working on things. I mean, God, I've painted this in like the last 3 days. That's more hobby than I've done in 3 months. I've actually been picking up my guitars and practicing and playing. I've written half a new D&D setting in the past like 2 weeks. I'm actually doing things and not just enjoying them, but wanting to do more and working on it, as opposed to wanting to do more and then going, I'll do that later. For whatever reason, something has clicked and or snapped. I'm not really sure which it is. I guess we'll find out in time. But if you've hung around on the channel for this long, and if you've overlooked ridiculous gaps between videos, if you've stuck around when things have been thin on the ground, or when it might feel like my heart hasn't been in it, which I think a couple of times over the last couple of months, I think in videos you can tell that it hasn't, thank you. And I really hope that your patience and your perseverance will be rewarded by, I guess, by the fact that I actually want to do things that I haven't done before, and I want to share that stuff, as opposed to playing it safe, doing what I've always done, and thinking that that is somehow enough, because I don't think that it is. Thank you very much for watching, and yeah, I guess keep an eye out.